All right, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into something quite philosophical, maybe theological even.
Yeah, it's a specific text we're looking at. An address from Reverend Sun Young Moon given back in 1974 in Barrytown, New York. It's called Our Hope.
Right. And our mission today really is to try and unpack his unique take on what humans should hope for, what real achievement looks like, and this idea of absolute love.
It's fascinating because it starts by immediately questioning, everything society usually tells us to chase.
Totally. It kind of hooks you with this paradox. Like, okay, imagine you actually get it all the power, the wealth, the big brain status. Why, according to this philosophy, would you still be unsatisfied?
Exactly. It doesn't ease into it. It just dismisses those conventional secular goals almost straight away.
Yeah, it starts right at the top, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Political ambition.
hmm
Takes the American presidency as, like, the prime example.
hmm You dedicate your whole life, pour everything into reaching that pinnacle, President of the United States. Okay, you make it, but what happens?
Well, you get 8 years, max. And then, puff, you're suddenly just a citizen again. The text says, with no power to exercise.
And worse, it suggests you're then left with, and this is a direct quote, nothing to do but wait for his death. Pretty grim outlook on achieving that ultimate political dream.
It is stark. The point isn't just that power is temporary, but that it inherently lacks enduring value. Because the moment you reach that peak, your path is only downwards in terms of status.
Precisely. It's a trajectory of decreasing value, as the text frames it. So that kind of hope, it argues, is fundamentally flawed, setting you up for eventual emptiness.
Okay, so politics is out. What about knowledge, academic success? That gets the same treatment, really.
Yeah, it asks, what if you win several Nobel Prizes? Or even 100? Does that bring lasting happiness?
Apparently not. The argument here is that the scholar often becomes a slave to their own study.
Right. Consumed by the work, the research, the quest for knowledge. So much so that other things suffer. The text specifically mentions having no time to love their wives, leading to unhappiness at home.
So the intellectual pursuit, while valuable in some ways, is seen as insufficient for, like, true fulfillment.
And there's that really interesting detail brought up the generational thing.
Oh yeah, the irony that the kids of these super famous professors often don't want to follow in their footsteps.
Exactly. They see the cost, the sacrifice, the perhaps lack of joy in that life, and they choose something else. The text uses this as sort of evidence that this path offers no happiness either.
So whether it's power or knowledge, the worldly path leads to this decrease.
Yeah.
Once you get there, the value starts dropping, which forces the big question.
What is our true hope? What actually offers increasing, lasting value?
And the answer given is very clear: love.
Simple word, but the philosophy immediately digs into its structure. It poses this fundamental question: does love start with giving or with receiving?
Because it can't be both at the exact same starting moment.
Right. And the conclusion here is firm. The foundation, the starting point, must be to give.
Okay, giving first. And that seems to lead to the next point, needing a source for this love that's, well, better than us.
Yes, a superior source. If love just came from within us individually, why would we crave it so much from others? And the text points out this human tendency, this desire to receive love from someone or something higher, greater than ourselves.
Like the example given about a woman wanting a husband far more handsome, far greater than herself,
Yeah.
even if she doesn't see herself that way.
Exactly. We instinctively seek love from a superior source. And if you follow that logic, wanting love from an ever higher source, eventually you have to arrive at an absolute being, God.
Because only an absolute source can provide the kind of love we truly desire, love that's unchanging, one-directional, persistent, eternal.
Without that absolute anchor, love would be just like worldly achievements, changing, unstable, insecure. It wouldn't provide that lasting, increasing value.
And the value placed on finding this absolute source is immense.
Off the charts, really. The text says you couldn't trade finding this source for the entire American continent or even the whole universe. It's presented as the ultimate value.
This kind of pure, God-centered love is then contrasted with what it calls animalized love.
Yeah, basically instinctual attraction, the kind of male and female chasing that it suggests is, well, not the ideal. The goal is to elevate beyond that to a pure traditional love that originates from God.
So God as the source is key. But then the text says something even more radical about love itself.
Ah, yes. The claim that love is, in a sense, even greater than God.
Which sounds, well, potentially heretical. How does that work?
It's about function, about unity. The argument is that love is the force that unites a subject and an object. God is the ultimate subject, the source of love. Man is the object. But even God, the source, needs an object, needs us to actually consummate his love, to experience it fully. Love requires both. Therefore, the principle of love, the thing that brings them together into oneness, is functionally supreme because it governs even the absolute being's ability to express and receive love.
I see. So love is the binding agent, the unifier.
Duh.
And when that unification happens perfectly,
That's the ideal state. God, Adam, Eve, all united, happy, dancing all day, eternally turning around. A world completely intoxicated with love.
sounds idyllic.
Yeah.
But how do we structure love to achieve that stability? This brings in those two lines, right?
Exactly. The architecture of love. You need both vertical love and horizontal love. And crucially, they must intersect at a stable 90-degree angle.
Vertical first. That's the parent-child love.
Yes, it's called the first love. It starts before birth. It's seen as straight, stable, rooted. It's the foundation.
And horizontal is husband and wife.
That's the second stage. And the warning is clear. Horizontal love on its own without that strong vertical anchor. It's in the air, insecure, floating, vulnerable.
Prone to collapse, basically.
Mm-hmm. Which leads straight into a critique of modern society, particularly the West.
Yeah, America gets called out specifically. The claim is that Western culture focuses too much on the horizontal romantic love, spousal relationships, often at the expense of the vertical.
The consequence, as the text sees it, is that young people, especially when they discover romantic love, tend to push away or devalue their parents because they never establish that firm vertical connection first.
They gravitate towards the exciting, maybe, but ultimately unstable horizontal connection without the grounding.
Right, and it contrasts this with Oriental tradition, which it says values the parent-child bond. Above all else, you might leave a spouse, but never your parents, highlighting that vertical priority.
So the solution proposed isn't east or west, but a unification.
Yes, bringing the strengths of both traditions together. The overall argument is that so much unhappiness exists because our love relationships are out of whack, a deviation from God's original plan.
And the cure for this deviation, it's pretty intense.
It is. It's about becoming intoxicated with divine love. The analogy used is powerful, like touching electricity.
Right, 250 volts might kill you, but this divine love is like billions of volts of spiritual energy.
It's meant to convey an overwhelming, ecstatic joy. A spiritual intoxication so complete it makes earthly substitutes, like alcohol or drugs, totally unnecessary and undesirable. They only offer temporary highs with bad side effects.
Whereas this divine intoxication, it claims, fills your whole being. Every cell makes you want to dance eternally.
But this incredible state, this increasing value, it isn't passive. There's a condition for keeping it, for maintaining it.
And that condition is?
Sacrifice. The core principle is, love is for others, not for me.
So giving again. If you sacrifice for someone else, a wife for her husband, parents for children, the love doesn't diminish, it actually grows.
Exactly. It deepens the connection, expands the flow. You give, and paradoxically, you end up receiving more in return. It's a positive feedback loop fueled by selflessness.
This whole framework, vertical love, sacrifice, divine intoxication, forms the basis for the mission outlined in the text, right?
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of the Unification Church.
Yes. The goal is stated as realizing God's vertical love and implementing it systematically at every level, individual, family, tribe, all the way up to the world to create the ideal kingdom of heaven on earth.
And for the individual who commits to this path, the promises are, well, quite extraordinary.
They really are, becoming psychically and spiritually open, gaining intuitive knowledge of the universe without needing university degrees. It's like being plugged directly into the source.
And finding your partner. That just happens.
Apparently so. Your ideal mate will automatically appear, maybe even in a dream or vision, because you've aligned yourself correctly on that vertical axis first.
But it's not presented as an easy path, is it? There's an acknowledgement of the current human state.
Definitely. The text uses the metaphor of man being fallen, like a cracked pot holding foul, polluted water. So achieving this requires effort.
Hard work, discipline, a process of purification, mending the crack, cleaning the water.
And the example given for how to endure this process is Reverend Moon himself, referred to as Father. His experience in prison is highlighted.
How he didn't complain, supposedly, because he felt this divine love so strongly it overcame the physical hardship.
Exactly. Overcoming pain through gratitude and love, serving as the model for how followers should face their own struggles. This love is positioned as something that conquers fear, even the fear of death.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. If we distill this deep dive, The core message from this 1974 address seems to be, forget worldly ambition power, fame, knowledge. It's a dead end, a path of decreasing value.
Right. True hope, the kind that offers lasting increasing value, is found only in discovering and living out this absolute eternal love.
A love that's structured vertically first, anchored in God, and then expressed horizontally.
Hmm.
And it's fueled, constantly deepened by sacrifice for others.
The claim is that this love makes you the happiest person possible, willing to work tirelessly, even to death, to win and maintain it. It's the only path to ever-increasing value.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty pointed question from this philosophy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is the hope that drives you right now set up for eternal increase, or is it just another peak you'll reach, only to find the value starting to drop?
Yeah. If divine love is measured in billions of volts, what are you sacrificing? What are you working towards to experience a higher voltage than you ever have before? Something to think about.